It's been a while since I've had my camera out, but this spider is sitting in the middle of our entrance gate, and it's a nice day, so I thought I'd come out and get an image or two of them. I have it on autofocus. With any luck, it will stay in focus and look pretty good. I will talk about the garden. We have got spaces for 5 more banana plants that we're going to be putting in, which is a good deal. Bananas are a nice thing. Our Doberman and our mongrel just came out, and they're barking at something or growling, I don't know what. The weather's been so hot that we have burned out most of our tomatoes. The green beans are doing good, and the cucumbers are starting to come in quite nicely. They're going to be where the bitter or snake gourds were, because they're about done. And we have got some nice spinach growing. We have got new what we'll call beefeater tomatoes and new cherry tomatoes on the way. We've got more snake beans, that's what they're called here. They can be up to 3 feet long. They're really quite amazing. They're green beans, string beans. And we have, what else do we have going there? Green onions, of course. Well, there goes my memory. Kangkong, that's a local green. And we've got some Chinese greens, I don't know what the names are. So the garden is coming along nicely. The drought is not such a good deal. We have just got enough water to get some on the roof now, if we have everything else shut off, which means that we'll get a little cooling for tonight. But our temperature is in the low 30s, feels like 38 to 40 with humidity, they tell me. It's hot. And our neighbors are running out of water. We've made an arrangement with the lady that works in our yard. She can bring up her laundry if they don't have enough water, and she can do her laundry here. Because we're a little higher up in the system, which means we get a little more water. Plus we have, through no particularly nasty bribery or anything, we have a 3/4 inch inlet coming into our yard instead of the traditional 1/2 inch. That's a long story, and it's not a pleasant one, so I'm not going to tell it now. But with the best of intentions, well, I'll tell part of it. With the best of intentions, we were going to share our water line with the church right beside us. We had made an arrangement with them, and the day after we got the water running, they broke the arrangement, took all the water into the church and left us high and dry, at which point we just cut off the pipe to theirs and we ended up with a 3/4 inch pipe, and they had to get their own water. Seemed fair to us at the time. And what else in the garden? Well, we've decided not to cut the bamboo over our house down. If nothing else, it gives us an incredible cooling. When you're out in the yard and you come back to our house, it's like you're walking into a refrigerator almost. It is so much cooler. It's just gorgeous. It's still hot, don't get me wrong, but it is, compared to outside in the yard, an awful lot cooler. Hello, Rusty, you go lie down. Rusty's a good Doberman, but he's 70 pounds and at 3 years old today actually, he's still very exuberant and tends to bump into things, which is not a good deal when you're sitting down doing camera work. You don't want him to break the camera. A little bit of breeze, so the spider's moving in and out. But that's all right. I have the greater world. There's still a great deal going on about transgender and what you should and shouldn't allow your people to do. Now, as an old pastor, I've been looking up the Bible. And according to the Catholic Catechism, as far as I can tell, it states basically that God is non-sexual, has no gender, and that Jesus in his human form was a man. I guess that makes him male gender. But it also says that Jesus in his divine form has no gender, as God has no gender, and Jesus is part of God in some really unique way that nobody's ever quite been able to explain or figure out. But I am thinking that tends to mean that when you think of Jesus as God, you think of Jesus as non-gender, and when you think of Jesus as human, you think of Jesus as male. So we have definitely got a bi-gender issue, if not a transgender issue, if you want to put it into modern terms. And also there's that marvelous part where Paul in Galatians talks about in Christ there is only one. When you clothe yourself in Jesus Christ, there is neither Jew nor Gentile, slave nor free, male nor female. Now, I have no idea exactly what Paul was talking about, but it is legitimate to take the old scriptures and put them to modern day context. And are we talking about people becoming gender neutral when they become children of God as Jesus is a child of God? And if so, what does that do to our hang-up about gender and sexual equipment today? I'm not giving an answer, folks. I'm just giving a, that makes me think a bit. I see that Germany is changing its laws to be more agreeable to transgender people. I see that France is doing the same thing, and I see in America they're making it harder. So, you know, there are different points of view out there, and I'm not about to tell anybody that I have the direct word from God, but I do say that you can look at these facts and read them differently, and people of good faith should be able to come to an understanding that is agreeable for everybody. It'll be a compromise, but that's how people live together. We compromise. When we don't compromise, we get war, which is kind of a bad thing to get when you think about it. What else is on my mind? Well, I'm pleased to be using my camera again, for one thing. I haven't done enough of that lately. But as this is getting to 10 minutes, and I'm going to have to turn this into a bit of a movie and what have you, I'm going to call this a day. I voice my opinions not speaking for God or speaking for a church or speaking for anybody other than myself. I have questions, I have opinions. More questions, more opinions. I have very few things in this life that are hard and fast. I don't live in black and white. I live in a rainbow of colors and a multitude of grays. And I think I will go with the old rabbinical tradition, at least I try to go with this. When in doubt, choose the one that creates more life and love. If all you're creating is hatred, violence, and death, maybe you're on the wrong path. Just something to think about, folks, and I'm going to say goodbye because this is now at 9 minutes and 45 seconds and counting. So y'all have a good day, and I'll get this on the web as soon as I can. Bye-bye.